Okay guys, so good morning. We're here today, we're going to talk about getting up off the chair. A common issue for a lot of people. So let's just have a look. Why is this? Why do people find this difficult?
Well, normally people would find this difficult because something happened and they've kind of lost the basic strength or balance in the lower legs, in the lower body. That such a simple movement that they've always done millions of times, all of a sudden, especially if it's from a low chair, becomes very difficult. They cannot move their body forward, they cannot push off their legs, or they cannot kind of find the right balance, they're scared of falling. So something has happened, and normally that happens with aging if we don't use our body in the right way for whatever reason. Maybe we have just come back from hospital, we've had a condition, we have not been well, we've been unable to move. So all of a sudden our legs are weaker and we find ourselves struggling with something that we never thought we would struggle with.
Okay. So, and today we're obviously going to look at different heights chair, because I mean in the household you have, you'll have high stools like the ones we're on, you'll have, dining chairs, you'll have sofas all at different heights. Obviously we'll start on these ones and it's easier on a higher chair. There's less, need for less kind of muscular strength required if you're on a higher chair.
You're perfectly right there, and sorry to interrupt there, but again that's something that the first advice I would give anybody that is struggling to get off a chair is can you, until you get that strength back, that confidence back, that mobility back, can you get a higher chair, or can you put a pillow under the chair so that you can make your life easier on your daily tasks? And then once you're back into your normal strength, a good habit, then you can go back to where you were before.
Yeah.
But yeah, raising the chair is the simplest and the easiest step to allow you to get off the chair without big effort.
And you said there, obviously putting a pillow or something to sit on, and that's probably quite a good thing for them to practice in order to get used to doing it at a lower height. Presumably.
Exactly. I mean, again, that's something that you can start with a higher pillow. Maybe you can move after a week or two, you've been practicing, you move to an even lower pillow until you can do it without anything.
Perfect. So we'll start on these high chairs, and now really, so the technique for us to get off this chair is really just to kind of move ourselves towards the edge of the chair and gradually put a more percent of our body weight through our legs until the point that we kind of can lean forward and stand up.
Exactly. Right? That's very easy to do in this condition on a high stool, because our legs are almost already straight, so I don't really need any strength in my legs. So exactly as you said, bring your body forward. Even easier if I have some arm rests, so I can actually push myself forward. And from here it's only a matter of actually leaning forward so that my body weight automatically goes on top of my feet. Once I do that, there is very, very little need for strength. I'm already up. So okay. It will be useful for our viewers.
Well,
easier for our viewers to see what we can do when the chair is actually lower.
Well, let's cut to a lower chair then.
Let's do it.
Okay, as if by magic, we're in a lower chair. So this is obviously a normal dining room chair. This is a lot of the chairs in the house will be at this height.
Exactly.
So really this is something where it requires a lot more lower body strength. It requires a little bit more momentum to get yourself up off this chair. You're in the fortunate position that you've got armrests.
Exactly.
So you can use your arms.
You're saying that, and that is the first thing. Again, to make your life easier, we mentioned in the first video having a pillow if the chair is too low. Other help, a second help that you can get, some armrests. If you have a chair with armrests, that gives you a lot of support, and until you are able to do it without any need for upper body work for your arms, that could be some help.
Okay. So let's just have a look at, maybe the technique of getting yourself up from this position, and then we can look into ways to assist you.
Yeah.
So really it's to kind of shuffle yourself down towards the end of the chair again. And a lot of people, they talk about bringing that right leg back slightly so you've got, a bit more stability when you push up. And then really just bringing your kind of body weight over your legs again in order to push yourself up.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the general principle is always the same. You want to bring your body weight on top of your legs so that you can just push your legs off the floor and find yourself in the upright position. So it doesn't matter how high or how low you are, The principle is always the same. You come forward. As you said, if you bend one leg, that helps pushing off. Pushing off from a bent leg is easier than from straight legs. If I'm here, I need to push my weight on top of my feet. That means I really need to push a lot forward, and I might not be able to do that. If I have both legs at the back, it's very easy to do that, but I would fall forward. So that's why adding one leg backwards, one leg forward will give me the ease of pushing my weight forward and the safety of having another leg in the front. So I'm here, I just push off, I push with the back leg, I stabilize with my front leg, and here I am. Obviously, if I'm left-legged, I can just do the opposite. Left leg, the strong leg at the back, the weaker leg in the front, and I just push off until I'm standing.
Yeah. And do you think it's worth it if someone finds it a lot easier with one leg than the other? Is it worth practicing with the weaker leg in order to try and find a balance, do you think?
As a general exercise advice, surely. You would like to be able to do the same movement with both legs, both sides equally. But then every case should be taken individually. If there is an organic reason, a specific reason why you cannot bring one leg back, maybe you have knee issues, you have got hip issues. So in that case, it would be probably better to have the specific advice of your medical professional that would tell you if it is still safe or not to do that.
Yeah, okay. And interestingly, you talked about putting your body weight kind of over your feet, over your legs when you're doing these kind of actions. So presumably, if people are struggling with getting up from the chair and they want to kind of train themselves and get better at it, that's obviously one position they need to be in. They need to be able to put their body weight over their legs and just to practice kind of pushing up. And whether you're on a pillow or you're on the chair or you're on 2 or 3 pillows, whatever the case may be, that's a good starting point.
Well, that is the best starting point, and I would say that is the common point of everything that involves changing position is putting your weight where it needs to be. If I want to stand, my weight needs to be on top of my feet. So that is the less effort I need or I take to get in that place, the safer the movement will be. That's why I'm saying, if my legs are too far forward, it doesn't mean that I cannot get up, but I need to push a lot more. If my legs are close to the chair, I feel a lot safer and I take a lot less effort. So the idea is always the same, it just changes the way you do it and the level. So an easier level, as you said, starting from a high chair or putting some pillows, that brings my body already almost on top of my feet. From a low chair, I need my body work to get me there.
Well, let's have a look at a slightly lower chair then. Let's look at something that...
let's see something a little more challenging, and let's see what ways I could have to sort of help myself or to use a lower chair as an exercise tool. That would be a good way, even if I am comfortable to stand up from this chair, it doesn't mean that I couldn't get better. So if I have a lower chair, that's not my daily chair, but if I can get up from a very low chair, well, my life obviously will be much easier to get up from my normal dining chair.
Well, let's challenge ourselves.
Let's do it.
Okay, so now we found ourselves on the kind of lowest option, really, and you can see that we're almost below 90 degrees here, aren't we?
Exactly.
So this will require a lot of leg work to push ourselves up.
It will. And the other thing that, the first thing I would say, this, as you mentioned, is in the lower range. Obviously, this is already a challenging position, even if you don't have any particular condition. So, advice number 1, if you can, and if you struggle to get off a chair, wait until you get this low. This should be already an advanced level if you want to practice this movement.
You should feel pretty comfortable with the other heights, before you even get down to this.
So, okay, now we are much lower. If I am strong enough, obviously, it is the same concept. Bring myself towards the edge. If I want to make it easier, bend one leg, keep the other one a little forward, so I push off with my back leg and I can stabilize with my front leg. And here I am. If I'm struggling to do this movement, I can start using a different type of supports. Number 1 support, using your arms to help pushing yourself off. So I'm here and I can kind of bring my weight forward, bend over towards my legs, and then use my arms to support my legs.
Almost levering yourself up.
You
there,
kind of
yeah.
lever yourself against your knees, so that kind of gives you an extra drive to
Yeah.
bring your weight up. The other thing that you could do, using the same concept, but instead of pushing into your legs, you can push into the stool. So from here, I can push off from the stool, again with the same idea of bringing my weight on top of my legs.
Okay.
The other option I would have, and this is something that applies if I'm at a lower range and I'm not strong enough, I can bring my leg a little further back. It wouldn't probably work in a normal chair, but if I'm on a stool and I can bring my leg on the side, that helps. The further back the leg is, the more I can use it
More
to
support.
drive me forward.
Yeah.
So that is something else that shouldn't be how to get off the chair, but I would be able to allow you to do that until you're strong enough to do it in the normal way.
It's also probably worth saying that if people find it difficult getting up off a dining room chair or a normal height chair, and they get to a level where they're comfortable, it's still probably worth them practicing off a low chair, isn't it? You think, to increase
Totally.
the lower body strength.
I agree 100%. I mean, ideally, that's something that we will discuss in different videos. Ideally, you would like most people, if not everybody, to be able to get off from the floor. So the lower they can get off the floor, the lower the chair, or even the floor, the better the quality of life in general is. That means that you have a lot of different skills that you will be able to apply in all conditions. You go out to a restaurant, the chair is different, you go to your friend, the sofa is softer. There are a million different options, and the more I can navigate through them, the better my life will be. So surely.
Yeah. So that concludes our video for getting off a chair.
Well done, guys.
Enjoy.